In this video, I'm going to show you how you can schedule tasks on your Morgen calendar. You can see inside of Morgen, I have my blue work calendar, and then I have my orange personal calendar showing the events. And then in the left side, I have tasks coming in from Morgen, from Notion, and from Obsidian. I'm currently in the all task view. I could go to a Morgen view, the Notion view, the Obsidian view, or any filtered view that I may have created, and all of these can then be manually scheduled on the calendar. Now, if we have a look at a Morgen task, if I left click, you can see we've got an estimate time and a due date in the sidebar. The birthday card has an estimate of 15 minutes, but the literature review an estimate of 2 hours. If I drag the birthday card into the calendar, you'll notice it's going to create a small 15-minute block of time. However, if I drag the literature review into the calendar, it's going to create a 2-hour block of time, because that's the estimate we think it's going to take. You'll notice now they're scheduled, a calendar has appeared next to them in the sidebar, and when we hover, it says scheduled today at 5:30. This one is scheduled today at 5 o'clock. But now these Morgen tasks have been scheduled, if I double click on the task, we have a planned start and planned end date and time, which is unique to this slot. If I think the literature review is actually going to take longer than 2 hours, but I don't want to be working any longer for today, I can drag the literature review into the calendar again tomorrow in the morning, let's say at 8 till 10. Now you'll notice there's a different icon with 2 calendars saying there's multiple sessions. The next one is today at 5:30, but the other one is in the morning on Friday. And so I have the parent task in the sidebar and 2 schedule slots on the calendar, which are unique. So if I double click and change the title of this task slot to say edit literature review and save, you'll notice the name of this task session has changed, but the name of the first task session is the same, and the name of the parent task is also the same. If I change the name of the first task session to say background research and save, now I have 2 unique task sessions that have a different parent task name, but they're still related. I could then drag another session with the same original parent name, literature review, into the calendar for another session slot. A different way to schedule a task again is if I left click, use the shortcut Control C to copy the task, then right click and then paste here. I've pasted that task session. Now we have 4 different task sessions for the same task. Using the bulk edit option, I'm going to left click, hold Control and left click. So I'm selecting 2 tasks, then I'm going to delete those session slots, and this will unschedule those slots. If I right click on Mum's birthday card, you can see I can unschedule the task, or I can unschedule and delete the task. If I unschedule the task, it remains in the sidebar, but the calendar has disappeared because it's no longer scheduled on the calendar. However, if I was to right click and then unschedule and delete, notice it's in the inbox, unschedule and delete, then delete, it's now been deleted from the task list. But I'm going to push the undo button because I didn't want to do that, so now I've restored that task. Another way you can schedule a task on a calendar is by using the due date visualization. You can see at the top on Friday, there is a due date inside from a Notion task. I then get the option to block on the calendar, and what this will do is block a session on the calendar from the due date. If we go over to the Notion task list, you can see there it is, it's due tomorrow, and when I click on the task, there is the date and it's due tomorrow. I can edit the date and it will edit it in Notion, but we have a planned time now inside of Morgen, the planned start date and time, planned end date and time, with the Notion due date also showing in Morgen, but also showing and syncing back to Notion. I can also add a due date to a Morgen task, so now I'm in the literature review task, but the background research multiple task session. Go down to due date, add a due date, let's say Saturday, save. Now what will happen is a due date visualization for that task will appear, literature review at the top, and again, I can block on the calendar, and now it's blocked out a 2-hour slot because of the time estimate onto the calendar for Saturday.